Pro Football Weekly has ranked all of the NFL head coaches 1 through 32. We are currently looking at the bottom of that list, and we should mention all these guys first-year coaches. It's certainly a theme that's running throughout. We just don't have enough of a track record to really grade them. At 28 on our list, Ron Rivera with the Panthers. 29, Jim Harbaugh for the Niners. Both these guys with track records, but different kinds.
Yeah, one defensive in Rivera, one offensive in Harbaugh. I think reputation plays in. Rivera's had a long track record of success. Harbaugh, obviously his name doesn't hurt. You know, his brother's done pretty well in the NFL, and the fact that he's a former NFL quarterback will serve him well. Ran a great system, though, at Stanford. I think he'll do fine. We've also got two sort of unknown guys in the next spots on the list. Number 30, Hugh Jackson out in Oakland. Number 31, Mike Munchak in Tennessee. I mean, do we know enough about these guys to rate them any higher?
I know that people talk very highly of Hugh Jackson, but it's Al Davis really running that team. You just don't really know. The Tom Cable experiment kind of came and went. You never really know what's happening out there. Jackson may be very successful, but with Al Davis looking over his shoulder, a tough situation. Mike Munchak, following in Jeff Fisher's shoes, kind of following in that kind of role, similar styles. Fisher was so successful, hopefully Munchak has as long of a tenure. Our last guy on the list, number 32, Pat Shurmur. Really just not enough to go on. I mean, we know he was with the Rams, and now with the Browns has Holmgren looking over his shoulder.
Yeah, to Pat and Browns fans, we don't dislike the man. We just think he comes in with the most questions of all these guys. Obviously, the Rams fans were a little upset his play calling last year. And like you said, with Holmgren kind of looking over his shoulder there, creates a little bit of an awkward deal there, and we'll have to see if he can find his quarterback in Colt McCoy and go on. We've also got some other names we want to throw out there, maybe some rankings that, you know, are tough to argue with, you know, sort of figure out where they land. A couple of guys in Mike Shanahan, Norv Turner, longtime guys in the league, have great reputations on the offensive side of the ball. We've got them ranked at 10th and 15th respectively. You know, but you could argue that they haven't always matched up to their reputations.
I would argue both of these. 10 Shanahan, I just think is way too high. You're living off of a reputation that happened, 15 years ago when John Elway was still the quarterback. We've heard that argument before, but what's he really done? It completely blew up last year in Washington. Just hasn't had the prolonged success of winning in the playoffs and winning championships. Norv Turner, I still contend, despite the fact they've had a lot of regular season wins, just not that good of a coach. They've struggled with a ton of talent in San Diego and hasn't been able to get over the hump. Also, another couple of guys, though, to look at that I think are interesting. Pete Carroll, first of all. Really tough to judge. What do we base him on, his other NFL experience or his college experience? And at 23, Gary Kubiak, a guy that's really never had the prolonged success despite a lot of talent.
Yeah, not getting into the playoffs certainly is something Texans fans are getting very impatient about. They've got a patient owner in Bob McNair. Yeah. And Pete Carroll, I mean, how do you judge him? You know, you've got the two previous NFL tenures. He built an empire at USC, although that's been crumbling down in the last few days. But then coming back and making the playoffs last year, it seems like those last couple games may have bumped him up the list a little bit. So got a pretty interesting list there, though.
Yeah, it certainly is a good list to look at. What do you guys think? Are some of these guys too high, too low? Check it out at ProFootballWeekly.com and tell us what you think at Facebook or Twitter.